Well, it's a privilege to sit here and talk with you, Johnny. Johnny Koons, my friend from the early 1990s. Remember when we first met? I can't.
Yes, sir. You called me. We knew of each other.
Yeah.
Through ministry while I was at Kanakuk all those years and so forth, and you were looking for a VP of development advancement.
Yeah, at Dallas Seminary.
Yeah, and you called me out of the blue one day and said, "What are you doing?" And that's how we got it going. I said, "I want to have lunch with you."
Everything started with a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the way it all started.
It's been a friendship that's grown deeper through the years. I'm grateful to God for you, Johnny, and I thank you for doing this today, for talking with me about life as it really is. Because many folks would not know you anywhere near as well as I know you, kind of help them know who you are, where you've come from. Just give me a brief snapshot of a little bit of that, if you will. You're a Dallas boy.
Born and raised in Dallas, and went to OU
Oh,
to college. So that was the first time I'd ever been out of the state of Texas, I think, other than family vacations
Sure.
in Colorado.
sure. You played ball for the Sooners.
I did for a while until I injured my shoulder twice, and that was it,
Wow.
you know. But I started out my career with about 10 years in real estate.
Did you?
And
Was your daddy in real estate? Is that how you got
he's
it?
I'm the only person in 137 years in our family not to be an attorney. And not,
Johnny, I'm really glad you chose to change your direction.
well, everybody tells me I was very smart in doing that, but no, it was just I'm so ADD. I couldn't make it through law school if I had 14 tutors, So
So you went to real estate.
went to real estate, and then I went to Israel on my first trip with Paige Patterson.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, in 1982,
Yep.
when Israel was much different than it is today.
You looked at some different kind of real estate over there.
There was nothing at the Dead Sea.
Right, right.
Nothing.
But
now there's
the Dead Sea,
hotels
yeah.
and everything.
That's right.
And so I came back from that trip, and the Lord really made the Old Testament come to life
Oh, yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
And
Now, you had known the Lord as a little boy growing up.
no, I was raised in a home that everybody believed in the Bible, but we attended church on special occasions.
Mm-hmm.
We prayed before a meal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I got involved with Young Life in high school.
Oh,
And
Highland Park High School?
yes.
Yeah.
And came to Christ at a Young Life camp
Wow.
in Colorado Springs. And
Yeah.
but never grew. Went off to college and got involved in all the worldly things,
Yeah.
like Solomon.
Sure.
And took me a long time to grow up. I think I started growing up about 5 or 6 years ago. So
It's still happening.
it's a process,
It is.
especially when he's got a tough subject.
Yep, I hear you. Well, yeah, therefore, you've been in business quite a while, a number of years, about
22 years.
about
in
22
total.
years.
Real estate, then about 17 years in ministry.
Yep.
10 years at Kanakuk.
That's a camp in Missouri.
Yeah,
In Branson.
it's really the largest Christian sports facility in the United States.
Wow.
But it's all Christ-centered.
Yep, and you were on staff there.
I was on staff there
Right.
in college. And then Joe called me after we had come back from Israel. I really felt God stirring my cup, stirring my
Really?
heart.
Really?
I would go back to do my business every day, and I learned what being a real professional is really like.
Oh,
It's being a professional when you wish you weren't doing what you're doing. But I had.
But you don't have many other choices.
But I had obligations to banks,
Yep.
to investors, and so forth.
It's a nice way of saying you were in debt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was in a lot of things. And
And the Lord began to work on your heart, and your first thought was, maybe I could do something with Joe White.
Well,
camp?
I really didn't even think about that.
You
Joe
didn't?
called me one night and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing. What are you doing?" He said, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "No." I thought he was going to tell me something tragic had happened
About
in his family.
Yeah.
And he said, "I want you to quit your job, sell your company, sell your house, and come up here and be the COO of this organization." And I said, "Well, I got to tell you, my first response is I'd love to." And I told him kind of the process that
Right.
I've been going through. And I said, "But a lot of things are going to happen. God's going to have to do a whole lot of things."
You were willing, but the obstacles were numerous.
Well, the obligations that
Obligations
I had,
is a better word.
integrity to
Sure.
following through with all those.
Yeah.
I had to get partners' permission.
Yeah.
I had to get banks' permission. I had to work out a lot of details that would free me up. And I knew that if the Lord was in this, that He would knock down all the obstacles and give us a peace that passes all understanding.
And He did that?
Over 6 or 8 months.
Yeah.
That happened.
Oh, my.
And
So one day you said to Joe, "I'm coming."
yep,
How great.
that's about it.
And how long were you there?
A little over 10 years.
Oh, my. Still has a place in your heart.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And your kids have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grew up.
Kids were young, and when we moved back to Dallas,
Yeah.
I for the last year I was there, I felt a stirring in my heart again.
Yeah.
And having coffee out on my front porch, I just felt God leading me back to Dallas.
Wow.
And possibly just to minister to men. I didn't know whether it was business or ministry,
Right.
but I knew it was time to leave.
You haven't been in ministry so long during that time that you forgot what the real world is like and what the business world is like.
Now, in ministry, although I was on the business side of almost at seminary
Sure.
and at
Kennecott. All right.
I dealt with real world situations
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And so I've been there, done that, seen most all things, some things that, especially with families and kids, that would shock you. And because we did a lot of counseling, we did a lot of speaking.
Yeah.
And
You
ministering to people.
You get in touch with what I've called in my study of Ecclesiastes, living on the ragged edge. You understand that world.
Yes, sir.
In fact, you understand the demands that go with that.